So Moa, what do you think of the new additions? Yes, it was good of Diet Pepsi to retrospectively sponsor the second tier, wasn't it? Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on the Impossible Dream. Today we have our transfer special as we move from Season 3 into a Champions League Season 4. And well, it doesn't start on good terms because we have had our training facilities downgraded. We don't really have the money to be able to upgrade them again. So we're not going to be asking. We'll just have to kind of take that on the chin for now and see how we go. Now, in terms of finances, we are currently still out of debt, which is good. We have 187 grand to spend on transfers, which we know we can't afford, and our wage budget, well, we're committed to spending just over 9,000 a week, so we've got about 5 grand a week that we have to play with, and again, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I did get a comment, why is our scouting budget 500,000 in the red? I don't actually know why or how that is happening. I just think, I don't know, I think we've just given the scouts a credit card, club credit card. No one has taken it off them, so they just keep spending money. But I don't actually know how or why that's happening. But we need to scout players, so I'm okay with it. Not really complaining. Now, what is already happening this season, this off-season, I hear you ask? The only thing that we know is happening for sure is that Magoma is leaving at the end of his contract. Now, he is likely to not be the only one doing this. If we go and have a look at players here, that's contracts are ending at the end of this month, basically. We're almost in October anyway. High, but I want him to go because he hasn't really lived up to my expectations. Now, Jonsson, we will probably try and see if we can get him to stay for as little money as possible. But everybody else here, Oskarsson, I mean, he doesn't want to negotiate. Moa doesn't want to negotiate. And Dongala doesn't want to negotiate. Now, that's a lot of wages between them. Antonson's actually the same. And Harvard Meyer, we want to leave or renew for a much less amount. So there is going to be extra wage money to play with here, but equally those are some big contributions that could be potentially leaving the club this summer as well. So there's going to be a lot of work to do. We know for sure before anything else we need at least one centre back to replace Magoma, and well, we'll try and raid Leeds United again to see what we can do there. But it's going to be an interesting, busy, hopefully entertaining summer. Okay, we have acted quickly to try and replace Magoma, and we have got in many monthly, I don't know how we say it, £400 a week, so more than what Magoma was on as a regular starter. He's a 30-year-old. Let's have a quick look at him. He's a Cameroonian. He is left-footed only, which is not a bad thing for a centre-back to have that, a left-footed centre-back, but jumping reach isn't as good, but he's really strong. He's got decent pace as well. His defensive stats are okay. Positioning's a little bit better than what we got out of Magoma. So I'm hopeful, as I say, that we're going to get a decent replacement in, and it's a 2-year deal, I think it was. And we can see his career to date. He's sort of been around the lower leagues of England for the most part. Mostly League One, League Two. It looks like recently in his career. So is that a similar standard? I guess we're going to find out. Certainly, it's a lower standard than what we want him to do in Champions League, but it's better than hopefully he's effective, let's say. All right, we are at November 1st, which means contracts have expired, and you can see it's going to be a very new-look Grindavik side next year. We've lost High, Helgason, Bjornsson, and Gunnarsson. They are, apart from High, all originals. They've all left, along with, if you look up here, Jonsson has left the club, served us well, but I think we can do better. Moa just wanted too much money to stay. It's a risk to get rid of him, but I think there's other options. And Dongala, another one that basically these guys, remember they took us from where we were to champions of Northern Ireland. I've got to get Welders out of my head. It's two FMs ago now. And Meyer is also leaving. He wanted to be a star player. He just wanted to, and plus more money. So we had to let them all go. Now we have begun the rebuild here. And the first member of that rebuild is Mattias Rocchi. He is an Italian. It says winger. Realistically, he's going to be playing as a striker, or a striking option, I should say. Only on £350 a week, which isn't too much more than what Jonsson was on. And let's have a quick look at him here. He's decent, isn't he? He has can still improve as well. 23, good finishing, very good dribbler for this level. Physically quite good. Mentally, not too bad either. And if we have a look at his career to date, he has spent time in Italy. Hasn't played much in Italy, but he's been at a Serie A club and Palermo, who's a big Serie B team. So let's hope that he comes in and does a very good job for us. Now, in terms of players whose contracts we have extended, the big one and the risky one perhaps is Antonsen. He decided he would like to negotiate a new deal with us, £750 a week. He's only young. I think there might be a little bit of an option to be able to sell him on down the line. So between him, the Cameroonian guy, and Adel Steinson, who's also signed an extension, we've sort of got 3 reliable centre-backs now, and then we can, with kids that are going to become qualified for the squad, I think we can just about cover off centre-back. Another contract that's been renewed is one of our youngsters, Logi Gudnason. He says he's unambitious. He can cross. He's decent. As a left-sided winger, he's got lots of potential as well. I'm not willing to give up on him yet. So he's got a 4-year deal at £130 a week. If he hasn't come off at that point, then we'll just let him go. Adel Steinson, I said he'd signed a new deal. We can see it there, a 2-year extension. He already had a year left. But what I've started to do is, because players are in this FM, they're opting to leave their options open, so I'm trying to renew contracts earlier than I typically would do. So he's renewed for basically an extra year, then he's already guaranteed to be here as a star player. Pordartson is one of the youngsters. We've seen him occasionally in the first team, so he's here for a little bit longer. Karasson, we've seen him as the attacking midfielder, deep lying forward. He's here for another 4 years as well. And the final player who agreed to stay was Oskarsson. He was on 600 something pounds a week. He's agreed to re-sign for 250. So this is a 3-year deal, and he's useful. He's very good, I think. Good dribbler, very good dribbler at this level. So yeah, he's hopefully going to continue to improve a little bit. There is a little bit of room to improve there. So the rebuild, it's well and truly underway. Okay, a few things to catch you up on quickly here. Gary Turpinson has signed a new deal at the club. We've had 3 players call up on international duty. Perhaps, the first time for international recognition, Damien Olmarkson has been called up to the Icelandic under-18, so well done to him. Stefansson won Best Rookie in the league, which I'm assuming is, like Young Player of the Year. 14 games and 14 goals will do that for you. I won Manager of the Year, so hooray for me. And in Team of the Season, we had 3 players, Capiello, Moha, and of course, Stefansson up top. So, yeah, a little bit of a catch-up on some awards around the league. All right, we have made a signing. It's a player at the end of his contract in Europe that's coming, so on the 1st of July, also known as just in time for European football. Kike Viva is his name, £650 a week as an important player. You can see lots and lots of bonuses there to make sure we could afford the wage. And a very optimistic, reached the league stage of the Champions League bonus for him as well. It says he's a striker. He's not. He's coming in to play the right side winger for us. He's quite quick and nippy and all those sorts of things, so that's a good thing. Can dribble as well. Decent cross, good off the ball movement. Doesn't have great teamwork or work rate, so I don't know that he's ever going to be a striker for us necessarily. But other than that, I think as a winger, he's got decent flair as well. I think him and Oskarsson could very easily do that side of the park for us. We've got the Italian that we signed that can play on the left. Carini be used as more as an inside forward, inverted winger. But I think that's all looking very nice. Now, his career to date has been in Spain's lower leagues, where he has played well. I don't know what division of lower leagues we're talking here, but I'm excited. I think this guy could do quite well for us. Look, mate, I don't know how much money you think the Icelandic champions get, but I don't care how many caps you have, we cannot afford to pay you £1,000 a week. A non-contract. Alright, so we have a new signing philosophy, I think. We have signed a new right back on a non-contract. Now, a non-contract sounds like something Mike Ashley will come up with for Sports Direct, but we've got in a new right back, Ahmed. He is signed as a squad player. We're just paying an appearance fee and a clean sheet fee, so that's £280 a week, assuming that he plays and we keep a clean sheet, which is brilliant, really. I mean, let's have a quick look at him. He's potentially quite decent. Now, of course, the issue with this is that he could leave at any moment if somebody else comes in for him. He has been capped by Cameroon, which is nice. He's 25. He can cross the ball. He can tackle a good long throw, and he's got a good long flat throw as well. So that's potentially something we could look to use, although we don't really have... We had him last year with Magoma, perhaps, but we don't really have anybody now that can exploit that, though we can certainly see what we can do. But yeah, I think he will do okay. Now, his career to date has been in France for the most part, playing in Ligue 2, I think it's pronounced, isn't it? Although a little bit of time not playing anywhere in the sort of the non-leagues there. But I'd say I'm cautiously optimistic that he will work out for us. The problem that we're having is that a lot of players now, we can find good players, but they want like $1,000 a week. Now, technically, we can pay that, but finances have dipped back into the red, and I really want to be cautious and not... We need to turn professional, basically. So the less money we can spend, the better that's going to be, because the quicker we're going to get to the point where we might be able to turn professional, and then we can really start developing players, good players we can sell on for a profit, and then the whole thing sort of starts building up from there. So until we turn professional, we're kind of going to try and get by with spending as little money as we can. Now, we have tried to raid our affiliates for some transfers. Now, of course, the issue we have, we've got potentially a right back, maybe a centre back here. The issue we have is that I can't see what sort of players the affiliates have until they get here. So these guys aren't going to cost us anything, so I figure we've got really nothing to lose. So Louis Cresswell could be good, he could be not good. And we've gone to Sporting Gijon, looking for a left-sided, although he's right-footed, I've just seen now. I don't think this guy's going to work out. Again, it's costing us nothing, so it doesn't really matter. But he's looking as though he's going to be a bit of a flop, if I'm completely honest. So he may... Don't worry about learning that name. I don't think he's going to be here for long. Okay, so this is going to be a problem. Stefansson wants a new deal. He's currently on £150 a week. Thankfully, we've got this year and next year, so he's not going to get the hump this... Well, he's not going to, become a problem this year, but he wants 800 or up to $1,000 a week, which, again, we can't afford this year. We really do need some European money so we can afford to keep him. If there was anybody I would push the boat out for and really try and keep him, then it would be Stefansson. But yeah, I mean, that is a lot of money a week for us, and I just don't know that we can do that. We could put the whole club at risk in a way for one player, and I don't know that I want to do that. All right, we are at February 22nd, which in Iceland is the opening of the transfer window. So let's have a look here, and everybody has arrived. So Louis Cresswell, our Leeds United right back on loan, is usable. Not the best getting forward, but I think that he's usable, isn't he, for sure. Now, the Spanish guy he is a failure. He is potentially at the level of the league below us, so we'll try. I mean, it's not costing us anything, I need to stress that, but we'll try and just get him out as quick as possible, I think. Now we have sold off this guy who you may or may not remember. He had a little bit of potential, but when you're semi-pro, signing potential, it just doesn't work as a general rule. But we do have our new signings here. So our Cameroonian right back is here, and let's hope that he just does a decent job. Again, he's not really costing us anything unless he plays. Rocky has arrived, our Italian winger / striker. So let's hope he does well for us. We've got two Cameroonians. Look at that. Our Mogoma replacement is here. Let's hope that he does okay. And the one that you guys aren't aware of yet, but we signed Tryggy Magnusson. He is a young Icelandic player. He's on £5 a week. Good jumping reach, which I like. Decent balance as well. It says he's a fullback. He's fickle. I don't know if he's going to work out, but as a centre-back, I'm hoping there's good positioning there, good anticipation, and well, we'll just kind of see how he goes. There's not really too much to lose about that one. So those are the new guys that are in. Finances are on the up. Now, the reason that they're on the up is because we organised the Grindavik Cup. And this is it here. We got 3 Major League teams over. I didn't manage them, to be honest. I let the assistant take them. And, well, we won a game, which is good. We didn't get blown out in either game, really, either. So New England Revolution are the first Grindavik Cup champions. So, yeah, if we have room in the calendar, maybe we'll make this an annual event with some MLS teams coming over, because it's, as I say, it definitely did help the finances. It's put us back up into the black. And, yeah, whoever it was in the comments that suggested doing this, well done. Thank you. All right, we have a new signing. It is a goalkeeper on loan from Leeds United, Eric Origi. He's a 19-year-old Kenyan. He is not great, if I'm honest, but goalkeeping is becoming a major issue for us. This is him here. Again, I'm sort of loaning these guys in blind. I can't see their attributes when I loan them in. He is a goalkeeper. He hasn't played for Leeds before. I don't think he's even been out on loan, has he? No. So we'll just kind of see. The League Cup has not gone well. Bjornsson he is just not a goalkeeper anymore. I don't know what's happened to him. And Morty Mortensen is still a bit too young. I've given him some games. He doesn't quite look up to being the #1 goalkeeper just yet. And if I'm honest, neither does this guy. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do, but he's here now. He's not, again, stress. He's not costing us anything, so it's not a huge deal. But goalkeeping is a big, big issue for us. Thank you everybody, thank you. Now look, I've called this press conference not to announce a new signing as has been speculated, but to announce a change of philosophy. Now as a club, and by as a club I mean me, have decided that we're going to limit our new signings, and instead we're going to back our youth players to step up into the first team. Now, is this going to cost us in the short term? Possibly, but in the long term, I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll just panic buy it. Okay, so I have decided we are going to back our youth. It is proving to be very difficult to get players in that sort of are instantly better. So what I've done here is we've got the squad sorted by potential. Now, obviously, there's a few players here that are already at that potential. But if we look here, we've got a good left back and Collar. We've got Allmarkson as an attacking midfielder. Pordartson, Turpitson, all midfielders. We've got some defenders there, although a couple of them there on loan in the goalkeepers. Stefansson is quite good already, as is Sayas and Rokshi. But we've got Half Paulson, who's got good potential. There's a lot of good potential here. Now, if we are to go and sign more players, what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to play these guys to then get them get them to develop. We have to be playing them for them to develop because of our facilities. So I just think, is it going to cost us short term? Possibly it could. I'll be honest, this season we might struggle with squad depth and sort of winning games, especially when Europe happens. We can, of course, strengthen the squad again through Europe. But we go all the way down. We've got four-star potential players all the way down to the bottom of this screen. And I don't know, let me know what you think. I just feel like long term anyway, this is going to be a good thing for us to do. Now, we have had the League Cup. We've had all four of the group stage anyway. So before we ruin things and find out if we've got out of the group, we better review the group stage, starting with our opening game against Selfoss. We took an early lead when Sayas found Stefansson. Selfoss pegged us back before half-time. But Capiello sent in Stefansson to restore our lead. Before Selfoss once again pulled level. So a bit of a scrappy first game this one. We did go down to 10 men late on as well, with Sheba getting a second yellow. Not too much to say other than we were just a little scrappy. We dominated possession as we tend to do, but didn't create. Well, they created a lot of chances as well. So it was fine. It was fine. Away from home, we'll take a draw. The next game was against a second-tier side. I think it's pronounced Prota. Oskarsson crossed for Rokshi to put us ahead. Prota pulled level. And they then took the lead. So when I said earlier that Morty Mortensen was not ready to be the #1, this is the game that I was referencing. We dominated the game, to be fair, until we made our substitutes. So brought some of the youngsters off the bench, or just generally changed things around. And they scored 2 goals in quick succession. And yeah, we just couldn't quite get ourselves back in front at that point. But yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. Next game to catch you up on is against Grotta. Grotta took the lead. And then sealed the points. So we tried something different in this game, just different formations. We're struggling to find a left attacking or left winger. So we tried something different here. We just couldn't score 19 shots. They had 2 on target, both in the back of the net. Bjornsson has not started the season well, and well, this was essentially a game that eliminated us out of the group stage. So that was that. Now we've got, you can see, Damien Allmarkson having some game time. Is one youngster. I mean, even Stefansson didn't play well in this one. So yeah, not ideal. The next game to catch you up on was against Stajan. Capiello played in Stefansson to give us the lead. Halkson picked out Stefansson to get his second before he completed his hat-trick, although Stajnen pulled one back. So this was much, much better, although, to be truth, there's probably a little bit of just Stefansson turned up and was banging them in from everywhere. Now, I will draw your attention to two youngsters that are doing their best to try and play their way into first team recognition here. First is on the left side here, Harvardsson. He came through our youth intake just last season, so he is very new in, but he's a decent crosser, decent pace as well, and yeah, he could have a role to play. He can play off either foot as well. So he could have a role to play this season for us because we are struggling to get wide players to play on that left-hand side. And another one that came through last season is Odin Bagley, and he has been really, really promising in the games. He was coming off the bench for a while and doing well. Was he coming off the bench for a while? Must have been in friendlies he was coming off the bench. And yeah, he's looking at home. And another one that might be, we'd have to register these guys this year, but he's been playing so well that I'm actually considering registering him and taking another player out of the squad. So yeah, when I say we're going to sort of come in and try and back the youth, these are two of the guys that I'm sort of referring to. Now, the final group game to catch you up on was against IBV. Odin Bagley gave us the lead. IBV pulled level before Turpitson and Rochi combined for Stefansson to win that in stoppage time. So this was decent enough. Again, we had Morty Mortensen in goal. I'm not sure he covered himself in glory with their goal that they scored, but we won ultimately. Bagley with a really good goal. Morty Mortensen, as a reminder of him, he's starting to train on a little bit. 19 for a goalkeeper is quite young. He's temperamental as well, which may not help him progress, but we'll just have to, we'll see. Long term, this is our guy, I think, especially the fact that he's club trained as well, came through the academy. He's not ready yet, and we've just got a bit of a short-term issue. But yeah, generally speaking, it was not too bad. Collar is another youngster, the left back that came through last intake. He's actually done quite well. I think he's too young, but he's been doing quite well. And the other guy, just so you've fully caught up, this is the guy that I sort of was thinking that would come in and replace Meyer overall in the squad. And he's doing okay as well. So you can see lots and lots of potential. And, well, I'll see. If we find some other good players, then maybe we'll sort of abandon this youth policy before it even starts. But I'm just thinking maybe that's the way for us to go. So the group stage, it did make for depressing reading. Fourth in the group in the end. 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. We didn't keep a clean sheet that I can think of. So there's a lot of work to be done. But thankfully, it's only mid-April, and they don't hand out too many trophies other than the League Cup in April. All right, we are at the start of the Charity Shield game, so we're going to start with that for this season. And let's have a quick look at where we stand here. We are doing well. We're using just over half of our wage budget, which is good. The debt we've kept under control through the off-season, so that is also good. And we do have money to spend if we feel like we need to in the future. Scouting budget, again, has been blown away. I really don't understand why no one stops me doing that. But anyway, a quick review of what we've done. And of course, let's remember the window is still open, so there is still the chance for more to be done. A couple of outs just to catch you up on. The Hammer has left. He's gone off to Grotta on a free transfer. No doubt he will come back and haunt us. He just wasn't playing for us, so it was cruel to keep him, for no reason, basically. Pordatson has left as well. He was a bit of a nobody for us. And if we go back, was there anybody else that left? Magoma we knew was leaving, and no, everybody else is there just loaned, so that's all fine. If we have a look at the signings that we bought in, we've got a right back here on a non-contract, so that is fine. Rochi, who is probably the headline signing, I'd say off the top of my head, he could be very good for us as a striker and or wide player. Manny Monte as a central defender, left-footed central defender. See how he goes. He's got to settle in, of course, first. We've got Magnuson, who is, he says he's a fullback. He's really a sort of a centre-back that might work out for us, but might not. Again, we'll just kind of see what happens with him. Then we've got our loanees that are in. Louis Cresswell. I'm not sure that I'm seeing a fullback, but I don't know what else I'm looking at. He can only really be a defender, and with a jumping reach of 4, he can't be a centre-back, can he? So he probably is a defender. Forget this guy. He was a mistake. He will be leaving as soon as we can terminate the loan. And we got a goalkeeper in as well, just to cover off Bjornsson. He's actually made his Kenyan debut since he signed for us. So, yeah, that is all very exciting for him. And, well, hopefully he's going to be reliable for us if we need him. So the team we have to start the season, the players registered in terms of goalkeepers, we have Bjornsson. He is obviously downgrading. He's 37 years old. He's been a little bit better the longer preseason has gone on for, so hopefully we'll get at least this season out of him. Origi will be his backup with Morty Mortensen. Now, if I can get him out on loan this year, I would love to get him playing first-team football somewhere. It's just a matter of if anybody's going to be willing to take him. I'll be willing to put him because everywhere's, as long as it's not an amateur team, everywhere's going to be part-time, so it's not going to affect his development that much. I mean, I'll send him to a part-time team no matter where it is. We've got some affiliates that are sort of third, fourth tier clubs. So I might even just look, as long as he's going to be playing every week, I might even just look to send him out on loan there. And then we've got another youngster here that could go out on loan as well. He's club trained as well. Now, left back, we've got 3. We've got Johan Marmot. His contract is up at the end of this year. My plan right now is to not renew him. And that is because we've got 2 guys that are... well, actually, I don't think Half Paulson is club trained. I'm looking at him and wondering if we could turn him into a left-sided centre-back as well, because he's physically can probably do it. Positioning-wise, he's fine. The only thing that really suggests he can't be a centre-back is the heading. But as I think I've said before, I'm not that bothered about it. It's more marking and positioning that I'm interested in and tackling. And if he's got a decent jumping reach, I don't care where the ball goes as long as it doesn't go in our own net. So I'm wondering if maybe we could turn him into a centre-back. And Berlin Collar, who is a really good young prospect for us, so we'll see what happens with him this year. I don't know if he's going to be registered in the squad or not, but we'll see anyway, won't we? Centre backs, I sort of got them all piled in under this side. So we've got Adel Steinsen will be the first choice. It's going to be a matter of who partners him, whether it's Antonsen, who is, well, he's one of our star players, so he probably will be him, along with Monthe, who is a regular starter. So, I mean, those 3 will probably rotate throughout most of the season, to be honest. Other options, Hagelsted is still here. He's club trained, so he'll be here until we have enough club trained players. Magnuson is registered. As I say, he's here as a centre-back option for us. And Sheba could play centre-back if we need him to, though he is here more to be a right-back. And then Cresswell as well. We've also got another Adel Steinsen that I think is more of a centre-back than a midfielder. His positioning needs to be worked on, though, if he's going to play at the back. So, again, we'll kind of see how he develops through the year. Over to right back we go, and Sheba is first choice. I think still first choice. Ahmed is here as well. He was okay in pre-season. I don't know if a non-contract actually is going to negatively affect the way that he develops or not. Then we've got Cresswell, who we just seen, and Magnuson. We still got Arneson at the club. I want to try and get rid of him. He's on £400 a week. He doesn't want to be here. I don't want him to be here. Let's just hope that he leaves at some point and we can get that money back. And then there's some youngsters there that I don't think we'll see. The defensive, deep-lying midfielder, Thiago Salas, will be the main man there in this position. He's got the backup of Pordartson, who's registered in the squad. And we've also got, of course, Gary Turpitson in the squad. And then a youngster that could, I don't think he's registered in the squad, but another Stefansson who, he's not quite good enough yet. So another one, we'll try and get them out on loan this year if we can. Midfielders, now we don't want to double up here too much, but Hakalson was the man I had my eye on to step in and play this role. Turpitson can as well, of course. Or Markson is very highly rated. He could play somewhere in midfield, a little bit further forward. This guy just became club trained, so he has been registered in the squad as well. Byron Jolfson, let's go with that. Again, potential there. And then Odin Bagley, he's too young to have been club trained yet. I don't think I'm going to register in the squad, but watch this space. And then, of course, there's others that could as well play back there. And then, of course, if we go to the more advanced midfielders, the ones you haven't seen yet, Cappiello, who was brilliant for us last year, and Carrison, I think, are the other 2 that are registered in the squad of those on that list. Over to the left. Now, Rokshi is going to be sort of I'm thinking, an inside forward, inverted left winger. That's where he's going to play to get him in the starting lineup. The other options we have are the youngsters that I showed you. Had Harvard Vartson, I think I've registered him, and Logie Goodnason is registered. We need him to just develop his crossing, well, just technically, just generally speaking, a little bit more, but there is a lot of potential there for him, and I don't think any of those other guys there are registered. This guy here, he's not going to show up on the right-hand side, but I am training him to play as a right winger because he's right-footed. Decent dribbling, decent crossing. I think there might be a useful-ish right-sided winger there. A decent flair as well, but we'll just sort of keep our eye on him and see how he develops. Over on the right-hand side, Oscarson will be the starter for the start of the season. We have, of course, got Kiki Viva coming in June, when he also 1st of July when his contract is up. He could be a game changer for us. And then, of course, Rocci could play over there as well if needed. Up front, Stefansson is obviously our main man in this position. He will play as many games as we can get him to play. Rocci, of course, can play up there as well. That's more or less why we signed him. Karasson, as a deep lying forward, can play up there. And the other option, though, he's not going to be registered in the squad. Another Bagley, good finishing. He had some really good games in pre-season. So if we need him, he will play sort of more cup games, I suppose, because he won't have to be registered for that. So there we go. That is how we're looking coming into the new season. Let me know what you think. Is it right to sort of stick with the youth for a little bit? We can, of course, go back and sign players, and we probably will sign some players before Europe in the sort of the European summer, so that the squad is that little bit more strengthened going into the Champions League qualifiers, because the European squad rules are different for registration, so we will probably in all likelihood have 1 or 2 extra spots we can fill up anyway. So yeah, I probably will look to do that. And looking at this, we probably do need another striker, don't we, or someone to play on the left-hand side, because if we go into Europe with only Stefansson to play up front with sort of quality at our level, Rocci, if he's going to play there, we're going to be stretched thin if we get an injury. So that might be something we need to look at. We'll just kind of see how we go there. But anyway, that's it for today. I will see you next time. We'll have a look at pre-season here. It's gone okay. Don't read too much into the results because I'm obviously shipping and changing players all the time. So we will have our game in the Cup, the Charity Shield thing against Folgner, who won the Cup last year, another First Division winner of that. And then we will get the league season underway against KR as well, our title defense. And let's hope it's off to a good start. Until then, guys, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.